Hello everyone, welcome to another video with Mr. Tom and STEM Kids in Space. In this video, we are going to talk about the parts of a rocket. Parts of a rocket. Now, different groups will classify rockets differently. I am keeping it simple. There are thousands, if not 10,000s, if not millions of parts and processes and decisions that have to be made with every successful rocket mission. Even unsuccessful launches have many decisions that have to be made so that everyone is safe. So, we have parts of a rocket. The first part of our rocket is our base. This is very important. This is all the infrastructure, all the people, all the resources that have to be in place for the rocket. So I'm going to draw a rocket here. Just a representation of a rocket. Here's our rocket. And there is our base, and there's our rocket. The rocket has many parts. One part of the rocket down here is the rocket engine. The rocket engine is providing all the force down to help us go up. And as we've talked about in other videos, the rocket engine is going to help us go to the side. The rocket engine is going to gimbal. Going to move, so some of the force is going sideways, so the rocket can start going horizontally around the Earth. How does an engine work? It needs propellant. Some sort of fuel and some sort of oxidizer. I'm just going to simplify that and call it propellant. We don't just shoot a rocket in the air. We want to send something or send someone up into space. We call that the payload. There's our payload. It might be a satellite, it might be people, it might be equipment that is needed to go somewhere. Let's send our payload to the moon. Well, how do we get there? We need some sort of navigation. Navigation is going to take us from the Earth up into the air. We're going to change directions. We're going to go the right speed. We're going to make the right decisions. We're going to communicate with people on Earth to get up to the moon and around and land. We're going to call that navigation. Each of these has many parts. There are probably multiple departments, multiple teams, thousands, millions of decisions being made to make these all work together. So that the engine can launch us successfully to wherever we are going. Now there's one more element that is not on here, which many people in the space industry will tell you is the most important. You know what that is? It's safety. We want to protect all the people on the base. We want to protect anybody that is part of the payload. We want to protect everybody that is around the launch place and everybody below the orbit. Everybody needs to be safe. We have many ways to be safe. Oftentimes, on the rocket engine, you will see these. It says remove before flight. You put it on, it says make sure you remove this beforehand, but don't do anything until this is removed. People will often wear safety glasses protect their eyes, help keep them safe. People will wear hard hats, protect their heads. People will wear safety vests. This is the vest I wear when walking. It has saved my life many times when commuters are not looking, pulling out of their driveway, and almost hit me. And I take the safety on my own. If I see a car getting ready to back up, I don't walk in front of it and say, hey, I'm on the sidewalk. Both of us working together, so far, has kept me from being hit. People will wear steel-toed shoes to keep their feet safe. Special equipment, masks, to make sure that they are not breathing noxious fumes. We talked about the propellant. The fuel can be very noxious, make you sick, kill you. We talked about thrusters on the sides of a rocket. They can make you sick, and all sorts of other chemicals. So we want to be safe. So those are the parts of the rocket. We've got a base, we've got the engine, the propellant. What's the two parts of a propellant? The oxidizer and the fuel. Navigation, to get where we're going. We could also add a couple other navigation. We can put some little foils on here. I mentioned the thrusters on the sides. It could help us navigate. A lot of electrical, communicating with people on the ground. We've got a payload. Trying to do something. What might be in the payload? Satellite, people, equipment, experiments. We're going somewhere. We're sending our payload somewhere. We're using our navigation to help us get there. We do everything with safety. So those are parts of a rocket. Well, I drew a picture for your activity. Draw your own rocket. What's it going to look like? Include all the elements. Make sure there's a base. Got some sort of engine. We usually don't see the propellants, but it's got to be big enough to have the fuel and oxygen in there. What kind of navigation are you going to have? What are you going to put in your payload? Where are you going? Are you going to the moon? Are you going to orbit? Are you going to another planet? Maybe distant stars. Always have safety. We have different parts of safety. Items we remove from the rocket before we launch. Protect our eyes, our heads. Let others see us. Protect our toes. All parts of a rocket. If you'd like, after you draw your picture, if you get permission from your parent or guardian, post it in the comment section of this video. Let's see all the different rockets and the different parts of a rocket. Thank you for participating in this video with Mr. Tom and STEM Kids in Space!